us who joined with the Xbox release have been crowned or christened. We are being called X-Divers by the PlayStation and PC players. As an X-Diver, I never received an alert or a message or a thing that had a physical Warbond token. Others have. Now, apparently there's different circumstances that are at play here. Some people were being given a Warbond token because they bought a different bundle on PlayStation or PC before the Super Citizen bundle came out, and then didn't get the Super Citizen bundle, but they had earned a credit, a Warbond token from the other purchases. I bought Helldivers 2 either on Xbox release day or the day after because, well, I talked myself into it. The FOMO got to me. As I've explained before, I'm not really an Extraction Swarm shooter fan, but I did start warming up to the modality of that kind of gameplay when I decided to really try to dig into Call of Duty Zombies. And I've played a little bit of Call of Duty Zombies last year during Modern Warfare 3, and I liked it. The island situation made it familiar to just basically playing Warzone, but it was Warzone with a swarm of bots, right? A swarm of NPCs. Then Black Ops 6 came out, and they brought back round-based zombie style with new maps, or maybe they were retro maps being brought back. I'm not sure. Regardless, this game is sort of like I was trying to name another. This game is sort of like a combination of various different games, but it's also uniquely its own. And of course, it's Starship Troopers. Like blatantly, I'm actually amazed that the publishers of the officially licensed Starship Troopers games don't have a beef with this game, but I'm not trying to start nothing. I'm actually very deeply curious about getting Starship Troopers, the video game, now that I've discovered that I enjoy this. But I digress. We were talking about Warbonds and the Superstore. So these are different things. I was not clear what was going on when I first joined. But Warbonds are like little mini battle passes, right? To connect it to Call of Duty, which is more commonly known. Except that instead of unlocking it through grinding XP, you have to collect individual physical Warbond medals, which are distributed throughout the map, often found at, quote, points of interest, which are not readily visible on the map when you first land. But what I was confused about was what's the difference between Warbonds and the Superstore? The Superstore has individual items for sale using super credits, not Warbond medals. Super credits are another currency, which are more, I guess, just like Warbond medals, they're scattered across the maps. You get them in slightly larger numbers. You might get 1 or 2 Warbond medals when you find a Warbond medal stash. You might get up to 10 super credits when you find a super credit stash. There might be more. I'm not sure. I don't pretend to be an expert. I don't have any insider information. But one thing I did figure out finally was that see how there's names that correlate to the Warbonds? Like there's Master of Ceremonies. I had looked at this Warbond before, and I like it. I'm thinking about unlocking it. One thing I didn't realize until I really looked close was that the different armors do indeed have different stat adjusting aspects. They'll have different features or whatever they're called. And I didn't know that for the first several days, because when you first arrive, you get a collection of default armor, and they're all kind of the same and generic and don't have any special perks. And I looked at stuff here, and I didn't know that you can click on the right thumbstick to look at the passive effects. I splurged and got this Bearer of the Standard outfit or what are they called? Armor, because of the following stats. Increases the speed of primary weapon reloading by 30%. It gives you a 50% chance of avoiding grievous limb injury and increases melee damage by 50%. And that all sounded super useful. So you can get these individually, right? I got the cape. The capes, apparently capes don't actually do anything, which is a bummer. Capes should have special perk bonuses too. And this because it's a matching set and it looks cool. And they were each available for individual prices set with super credits. But as you can see, they are apparently connected to the different war bonds. But when you go look at the war bond, what's the one? Masters of Ceremony. They don't have the same outfits in there. They don't have the same design. But that's a cosmetic difference because, excuse me, I've got the burps and the hiccups all at once, which never happened to me except for when I go live on stream. Okay, cleared it out. Okay, so finally, after looking around, I realized, oh, this armor looks different and has a slightly different armor rating. Apparently, I'm not sure if that's relative to the one I'm wearing or not, but it has the same perks. 30% reload speed increase for primary weapon, 50% chance to avoid injury of limbs, a grievous injury, and melee damage increased by 50%. The war bonds have usually 2 sets of armor. Apparently, each war bond will have the same kind of perks. I haven't confirmed by looking at every single war bond, but I did notice that when I was comparing the outfit that I got from the Superstore using super credits and this war bond that I was thinking about unlocking. I really want to unlock this one just so that I can get at this super flag. But I'm also torn about a couple of other, and this melee saber looks really cool. Although I'm not a melee player. Excuse me. Why am I yawning? I'm not tired. Oxygen is needed in the brain. Am I going to unlock this one right now? No, I'm still thinking about it because, I recently unlocked this one. By the way, there's a lot of questions on social media in the groups about what's the best this and what's the best that. I'm a total ex-diver noob, but having spent 2 weeks or a week and a half or whatever it is now, almost 2 solid weeks with the game, I have decided for myself that this backpack is a must-have for anybody who wants to solo. Now, people will tell you that it is impossible to solo this game. I think it's possible to solo difficulty levels 1 through 4. Maybe 1 through 3. 4 is starting to get a little bit overwhelming. Although I have soloed a level 4, I think. Maybe I'm gaslighting myself with that. But levels 1 through 3, absolutely, you can solo them. The missions are what they are, and I'm still picking up that there are mission types I have not played yet. I don't know the full extent of all the mission types, but the reason this backpack, what is it called? The Warp Pack, which is at the very end of the Control Group War Bond. The reason I find this particularly useful. Hello, J Turntable. Good evening and welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us. I'm just rambling about stuff I've picked up and ideas I've learned that are applicable to this game because I've become totally fixated on it. I have not played other games that I've been meaning to get back to just because this game is so engaging. But I'm going to try to fix that this week. Anyways, so this Warp Backpack has an interesting feature. You teleport a certain amount. Someone made a video. I don't remember their name. I I can't reference the creator, but someone recently made a video pointing out that you can use this to blow up enemies. In fact, in that little clip, you can see that it's being used to charge against a small mob of low-level monsters. There, you skip a monster that's charging at you. That's another cool feature. You're getting charged at. You can just run in their direction instead of trying to run away and teleport behind them and then have, quote, the higher ground. But the reason that convinced me to get it is that it solves the two-person needed to open a certain points of interest. There's like there's a commonly found bunker that will usually have either a couple of weapons and some super credits, or some super credits and some more medals and some ammo, something worth picking up that you cannot open unless you have two players to work the dual key system. What's a button? You need two people to push two buttons. But with this backpack on, you can warp through the door, loot the items, and warp back out. And I was like, that will make soloing levels 1 through 3, which I enjoy doing as a warm-up before jumping into help others or trying to form a squad to do higher level difficulties. I still have yet to unlock level 5 and 6. I think level 4 is the highest difficulty that I've unlocked. But I'm not in a rush. Anyways, clip that, Eclipse. Welcome, Jay Turntable. Thanks for being here. What are you up to lately? What's news with you, buddy? What game are you playing? If you're still there. Also, what am I doing? What are we doing? Let's drop it into the raw feed. I'm going to hide my face. Please feel free to chat at me, Jay Turntable. I'm going to go silent for a minute to just kind of get organized and get ready to go and dive into a solo run at a level 1 difficulty just to get warmed up and try to farm some super credits, etc. Then we'll step it up to level 2 and a level 3. And then once we get to level 4, I'm going to start either joining other parties or dropping in and activating the SOS and inviting other players to join me. So there we go. Let's play.
If our enemies had not so brazenly attacked our cities, Project Free Space may never have seen the light of day. What is a temporary housing deficit compared to space being free?